what you find in the market, right, is that use cases are evolving, right? If you look at the past, if you look at what used to happen as an e-commerce as an example, right? Companies would send, I mean, when you, let's say, doing a shopping journey, right? You look at what products you want to buy, and then basis the product you're looking at buying, the particular product is shipped to you. So that was a time when recommendation engines wasn't very thorough. And now what's happening is the recommendation engines as a concept is evolving. So the customer knows, I mean, the companies which are offering these products know the customers much, much better. Once they get to that stage, they can start saying, let me ship before you buy. What does it do? It keeps the customer with you for a longer time. And essentially that can only happen if you understand the customer really, really well. So you need technologies that can help you with that. Recommendation engines, for example, right? And that can happen if the accuracy of your predictions improve. So what you're seeing today is people are, I mean, the companies which are offering this understand customers much, much better than before. And so you're going to see a trend where customers, it's going to be more marketing led versus saying, let me wait for the customer to buy this and then I ship it. So that's one example in an industry segment in retail, but that can apply very much in banking and telco and so on. So essentially what you're seeing is evolution of how customers are being perceived by organizations which are in the B2C segment as an example. Again, going back to the example I just talked about, if I apply it to a context of a financial vertical, for example, what are the three things that are happening in the market today, right? One is, if you look at the banking segment, 3 years back, outages in the data center. So when outages happened, immediately the regulator came back and said, hey, you got to report your outages and you got to pay fines for it and so on and so forth. So availability was a very critical thing. And the second thing which happened was, when you look at availability as one thing, the second thing that happened is, how can I quickly, give you access to the data that you're talking about? Which means the platforms that you're building need to be real time. So as an example, I do a payment, I pay you some money. Immediately as I pay you money, I need to see a notification which said, hey, I paid money to this person and it was successful. If it takes time for the SMS to be sent, the customer is going to be worried. Customer experience goes down. So that's the second thing. And the third thing, which is also important beyond availability and customer experience, is, are you having features which are very critical for the industry? We just had a recent case where a huge bank was pulled up by the regulator saying, hey, you're not security compliant. So the platforms that you run need to be security compliant. So three things I talked about: availability, performance, scale, and also lastly, which is security features. Does your platform do that to your environment that you're applying? Where Aerospike comes in is, we give all these things to customers. So we work with a lot of enterprises here in India. We also work with digital natives, and typically they work in the segment we talked about, where they can keep the lights on 24/7. Secondly, they can run these extremely mission critical real-time platforms on Aerospike at a cost which is extremely low, and these platforms, knock on wood, never goes down. 24/7 they keep running. So that's the value proposition that Aerospike is offering for large enterprises and digital natives alike in the India market. So very excited about this market, and thanks for having me on the show. So I think one of the things that I've been a long time participant and sponsor of this event, right? What I've seen is the evolution of ETCIO, which is brilliant. It's almost our event in some sense, right? The kind of conversations we're having these days, which are really pivoted towards what the industry is talking about: Gen AI, AI, ML, things which are really moving very, very fast. In a market like India, it's very critical because you got to bring people from the industry, from various segments to come together and discuss and align. I think this event is one event where you have that, especially being a residential event. It's a fantastic event. I've been a big sponsor of this, big advocate of this event. And the reason is because you get this ability to interact with people from various streams in one place. So very excited, great job doing this event.